go to Jim Lampley.
That the NFC Championship game doesn't kick off until 4:03 Eastern Time. The 49ers and Cowboys, that will determine the Bills' opponent next Sunday in Atlanta. Between now and then, we'll bring you all the jubilation from the Buffalo locker room, the presentation of the Lamar Hunt Trophy to the AFC champions. OJ will bring us interviews with the Bills players. Will McDonough will be in the Kansas City locker room, and we'll get the comments of my colleagues Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs on today's game. We'll get started with all of that right after these messages from your local station.
This is the Head & Shoulders NFL Live Postgame Report, brought to you by Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1.
And we bring you back to Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, where, as you can see, the Buffalo Bills have again accomplished their mission, beating the Chiefs 30-13 to win the AFC Championship for the fourth consecutive year. Very shortly, we will take you down to O.J. Simpson in the Bills' winning locker room. We'll have the Lamar Hunt Trophy presentation. We'll talk to the players, starting with the Bills after Mike Ditka, a near flawless performance by Buffalo.
Well, I think the big difference from the first time they played, Jim, we talked about it earlier, the ability of Jim Kelly to audible, where he wasn't bothered by the fans, had the ability to audible. He called a flawless football game. They gave the ball to Thurman Thomas over 30 times in the game. We knew that would be the key thing. Kansas City did a very poor job on defense. They tried to play a 4-1-6 defense, and it did not work out. They needed beefier people at the linebacker position to stop that back once he came through the line of scrimmage. Those defensive backs couldn't stop him.
We talked through much of the first half of the season about Buffalo's difficulties on offense. They had to adjust to the absence of explosiveness with James Lofton having left and now Bill Brooks in the starting lineup. They seem to have made that adjustment.
But I think the big adjustment was Jim Kelly on the field. I think he called the majority of the plays by audibly, and I think it's really almost like a 2-minute offense he was running out there. That's what made him so effective. When Kelly is operating at his best is when he's calling his own plays and doing what he thinks he can make that offense work.
And of course, great running backs having great days can make a team look great. Today, Joe Gibbs, Thurman Thomas, 186 yards, much of it behind a terrific performance by the Buffalo offensive line.
Hey, great atmosphere, huh? Hey, Mike, it's like being on the sidelines, man.
Yeah, we got a couple idiots out here in Buffalo.
Listen. I think that Mike hit the nail on the head. Kansas City could not stop the rush. With the front they had up there, over and over again, they just kept giving it to Thurman, and it made for a long day. I also thought that, really Montana started off, he had a tough time throwing the ball in this kind of weather. And I think it was tough for him. Craig, I think, was more effective. But it was really mostly just the running game. And I thought Buffalo did a heck of a job, kept handing it off. Thurman kept running, made for a long day for Kansas City. Hey, you got to give these guys credit now. I tell you what, to come back Buffalo with an organization like this and not fall apart after those 3 big losses in Super Bowls.
An early observation, and there'll be more of this to come. You coached one of the teams that blew Buffalo out in a Super Bowl. With each passing year, the question must be asked, are they better now and more equipped for this experience than they were before?
Well, I'm impressed with this fact. When we talked to Thurman Thomas last week, I was impressed with the way he had set his mind. In the past, he concentrated a lot maybe on himself, or guys got upset. This team is very much together. I think they've grown through those experiences, and I've been impressed this year with the way they've gone about business. Kelly, Thurman Thomas, all the stars that they have. The front office has done a good job keeping them together. I think they're battle-tested now, and I tell you what, it'll be a great story if they can get the monkey off their back, and I think they have a chance to do it. They certainly played great today, and they did the things you got to do. When you physically run the football, it demoralizes the other team. Passing's great, being fancy's great, but when you run the football and knock people down and knock them back, that's man's football.
The most psychologically powerful weapon in football, the ability to knock your opponent off the line of scrimmage and run the ball up his throat. So now, for the 4th consecutive year, the Buffalo Bills are headed to the Super Bowl. They will play either San Francisco or Dallas. If it's the Cowboys, it will be the first ever Super Bowl rematch in consecutive years. Right now, let's head down to the winning locker room and join O.J. Simpson. Juice.
Jim, I'm here with Neil Austrian, president of the National Football League, with the Lamar Hunt Trophy emblematic of the best of the American League as he presents it to Ralph Wilson, president of the Buffalo Bills, for a record 4th straight time.
Ralph, Ralph, it's my pleasure to give you the Lamar Hunt Trophy for the AFC Championship. It was unprecedented. You've done it 4 years in a row. You beat 4 different opponents. Our congratulations to you, Marv, the entire Bills organization. I know the Georgia Dome and Super Bowl 28 await you in Atlanta next week. And on behalf of the entire league, good luck next week against either San Francisco or Dallas. And again, congratulations for a terrific year, and you've built a wonderful team.
Thank you very much, Neil. Thank you very much. Thank you, OJ. Hey, fellas, hold it up. This wasn't, I didn't have any prearranged talk for this, but I just want to congratulate all of you, from starting with Marv and his staff, and all of you players for the tremendous effort you've made, starting in Berlin in July and all the way through the season in winning this 4th conference championship game. I'm proud of you. You're a great bunch. And you played a wonderful game today against a terrific team in the Kansas City Chiefs. And I salute you.
Ralph, you got to be proud of this group. It says something about the resiliency of this group of ball players, especially this man right here, Thurman Thomas.
Well, am I supposed to say something? Or is Thurman supposed to? I tell you, I've seen Thurman make a lot of runs, but I've never seen him run harder than he did today. And you certainly deserve the recognition your fellow teammates gave to Thurman.
Thurman, are you surprised at the ease in which you were able to move the ball against these guys today?
Well, you know, considering the game plan that they have defensively, they came in to stop me on the run and on the pass, but coaches came up with a great game plan. Offensive line did the best job they've ever did since I've been a Buffalo Bill, and we just went out, we executed very, very well, and that's why I was able to get all the rushing yards I was at.
Are you surprised that not only that you move the ball against these guys so well, but what does it say about the resiliency of this team? I know nobody wanted you to go back to the Super Bowl, yet that was the goal of this group of guys.
Well, you're right. Nobody wanted to go back, but we believed in ourselves as a team, as an organization, and as a players. We knew that, hey, if we get back, we would hear a lot of the questions about nobody wanting us back, but this team has been through much over the past 3 years since losing 3 Super Bowls, and we would just thank God that we were able to pull out today and go down to Atlanta and try to win one for our 4th Super Bowl appearance.
And looking at the game that's being played this afternoon, do you sort of want to see Dallas come to this game for, I don't know, to kind of make amends for the performance of last year?
Well, OJ, at this point in time, you know, we're just going to celebrate the victory, and we can't worry about what team we're going to play, whether it's the Dallas Cowboys or the San Francisco 49ers. We know that we have to take care of our business as the Buffalo Bills.
But standing over here is a guy who did a great job today. Not great numbers, but very effective. Jim Kelly. Hey, Jim, you started this year. You said, and I paraphrase, let's tee them off and go a 4th time. Well, I think you certainly teed off a lot of Americans out there.
Well, I think near the end of the week, and all I kept hearing was more people turning towards us, saying that you guys have accomplished a lot, and if you guys get there, we're going to be pulling for you. Hey, we don't have to prove anything to anybody. We're champions in our own mind, and there's one more river to cross, and just going out there, no pressure on us, just go and have some fun.
Tell me about today's game. I mean, you have to be surprised at the ease in which you guys were able to control the ball offensively.
Well, the key to the game was the offensive line. You know, going into the playoffs, we knew that if we were going to win by any stretch of anybody's imagination, it was going to be the guys up front. The guys came off, did a heck of a job. Thurman ran like Thurman Thomas, and the key to everything was everybody stayed poised and just went out and had some fun.
Well, we got Bruce Smith standing right here right now, but we're going to throw it over to the other locker room to Will McDonough with the Kansas City Chiefs.
We're going to go right in. Marty. Okay, thanks very much, Juice. We're with Marty Schottenheimer. Marty, first of all, what's the condition of Joe Montana?
I think Joe's fine. Will, he had a mild concussion, hit his head on the surface, and really wasn't functional to be able to come back and play. I think he'll be fine, though.
Going into the game, you said the one thing you really wanted to do was stop Thurman Thomas, and yet you couldn't get that done.
Well, we pointed toward that. That was a big issue for us, and I'm sure their objective was to try to get him to perform as he did. We're disappointed, obviously, but he's a great back, and you know, that football team has taken a lot of heat from a lot of people, and they're a hell of a damn football team, and they're a well-coached football team, as you know, and my hat's off to them.
Yeah, how about Derek Thomas today, Marty? He was in and out of the game. Was he injured, or was this something you guys were doing defensively?
It was part of the thing we were trying to do with the defensive group, but he was not injured. We have a group of personnel that we call Big Chief, and it's a bigger 280-pound guy to put on those tight ends.
Yeah. Today, I think when you look at the game, you're just going to say physically, it looked like the Buffalo Bills did a great job.
They were a better team than us today. There's no doubt about that, Will. But on the other hand, you know, we've had a damn good season. I've told our players there's no reason for you to let the frustration of this moment dull the accomplishment of a fine season in '93.
Thanks, Marty. Okay. Let's go back to Jim Lampley.
All right, thank you very much, Will. Certainly, if you're a fan of the old American Football League, it was fun to see the Chiefs against the Bills here today. But the team which was clearly dominant was the Buffalo Bills. We'll head back to the Bills locker room, and we will have more interviews with the victorious Buffalo players when we come back to Rich Stadium. Back in Buffalo, where the Bills are headed to the Super Bowl for a record 4th consecutive trip after pounding the Chiefs 30-13 in the AFC Championship game. We go back to the Buffalo locker room where O.J. Simpson is standing by with 2 of the defensive stars of the Bills today, Darryl Talley and Bruce Smith.
First of all, guys, congratulations on a tremendous effort. But, Bruce, you were particularly upset that you felt that you guys weren't getting the respect you deserved all week.
Well, definitely. All week, all we heard long was Joe this, Joe that, and continually being Joe. And we felt that there were going to be some other people on the team, and we proved that today.
What did you guys do defensively? They were able to move the ball earlier in the year, but especially in that first half, they had a lot of trouble moving the ball against you guys.
Well, we had a good game plan for one, and at the same time, our offense was just tremendous. They played extremely well, and anytime they can play that well and control the ball and the clock, makes our job a little bit easier.
Darryl, how did you guys come back from that humiliating defeat at the hands of the Cowboys in the Super Bowl last year? You lost some key players. How did this team pull it together and are here today?
Well, I just think we had all the guys that have been on the football team just had to be able to step up and, answer the beat. They had to answer it, because if we didn't step up, we knew everybody would come at us and run us right out of the stadium, right out of their stadium. And guys just had to play. Guys knew the system, and you just had to go to work.
Does it matter who you guys play? I mean, will you be cheering to get the Cowboys back there for maybe revenge?
No. I just want to I'm there now. I got to get a big one to go with the short one.
All you can ask for in life is an opportunity, and we have a hell of an opportunity in front of us, and we're going to take full advantage of it.
What are the guys talking about? As you know, you had 2 very disappointing performances the last 2 years in the Super Bowl. Why should we expect it to be any different this year?
Well, I think we're a much mature football team. This team has been through its ups and downs, its adversity, and we've always been able to bounce back. So it's important that we take care of business this week and this coming Sunday.
Standing over here on the side may be the most unappreciated coach in America today, a coach who's done a remarkable job. Coach Marv Levy, you got to be proud of these guys. And how did these guys pull it together this year after what's happened in the past?
O.J., you've just had a few of them up here. We had great internal leadership in this team and a lot of pride. Those are throwaway words, I guess, because they're used so much, but we really did have it. And they understood that it would take a season-long effort, and they got it, and they like to play football. They like to play.
Are you surprised at how you guys were able to pretty much dominate this game on both sides of the ball today?
Well, sure. I think our team probably rose to its highest level so far this season in performing today, because we played a very good team we were very apprehensive about. We got some breaks. The interception right before the half probably was a break, but our team capitalized on it, and we won by a bigger margin than I'm sure is the difference between the teams, because just everything went our way and our guys played so well.
As a coach, this team has not played their best game in the Super Bowl in the past. What can you do differently to assure that won't happen this year?
After the game last year, when I was driving home, I was sitting side by side with someone else, said, it doesn't make any difference whether you go down on Monday or Tuesday, whether you go to a hideaway hotel 2 nights or 1 night. It makes a difference what happens when you show up at the stadium. And when we show up at the stadium, we got to do something different.
Well, you showed up today. Congratulations, and we'll see you in Atlanta next week.
I'll look forward to it, O.J. Thank you.
Jim Lampley, a happy locker room here in Buffalo.
And indeed, Juice, a happy Western New York, where a lot of people were made angry last week, Mike, by a lighthearted comment you made on our program. I'll give you a chance to set the record straight. You used the word boring in reference to Buffalo's success. You're not the only one who said it. You appreciate them as much as anyone.
Well, I think Buffalo deserves all the credit in the world for going to 4 Super Bowls. I don't think the idiots out here throwing stuff at us deserve any credit at all. I think it's a disgrace to anything I've ever seen. Regardless of their feelings or my feelings, what they're trying to do is going to hurt somebody, and that's wrong. So I guess it's what I'm saying is they're lousy, these people around here anyway.
Joe, will the Bills players root for Dallas to beat San Francisco to get a chance at specific revenge?
I don't think they're going to root for anybody. I think they're too smart to say. I think they're going to sit and watch the game. I did pick up on Marv right there. One thing he's got on his team, I think, when I had good football teams at Washington, there were about 8 or 9 guys I leaned on that were those veteran guys. I think he's got that on this team. Kelly, Thomas, the defensive guys, Smith. I think he's got a good feeling right now, and they've really stayed focused is what I think has happened with this team, and I think they'll make a good showing in this Super Bowl. I think it's going to, and I don't think they're going to pull for anybody today. They're going to take whoever's there.
They've done a lot of winning. How much have they learned from 3 times losing the ultimate game? We're about to find out one more time. So Buffalo heads to Atlanta. We'll be with them. As we say goodbye, we'd like to acknowledge the men and women who brought you all the sights and sounds from today's game here in Buffalo. And we'll see you next Sunday as the Bills take on either the 49ers or the Cowboys.